the week, and we are meal planning, we are meal prepping, we are getting ourselves organized. But I wanted to thank everybody for jumping on tonight's team call. I know that a lot of us have so many different things going on, but I really appreciate your efforts getting on tonight. And like I told you guys, that tonight was going to be a quicker call. We are going to be on here for about 30 minutes. So get ready for a few things tonight that you're going to learn. You're going to learn a little bit about goal setting. We're also going to talk a little bit about goal setting and a little bit about tough love. And some of the things we may not like to hear, some of the things may freak us out, some of the things that we hear tonight might completely inspire us. But I definitely want to share those little tidbits with you before we move forward. Another reminder is that we will not have a team call next Sunday. So next Sunday is going to kind of be a little independent study for you guys to go ahead, invite for the week, get set up. You know, maybe you can construct some posts for the week and really get yourself organized. Because as you guys know, during this time, this is the last quarter in the fitness industry. And I can tell you that the last quarter can be super, I hate to use the word, okay, I'll just go ahead and put it out there for you guys. The last quarter in the fitness industry is when people say, I'm too busy the most. Everybody wants to quit and postpone their Shakeology. Everybody wants to start in January. And I say everybody pretty loosely because I'll say most people. So this is not a time for us as entrepreneurs to slow down. It really is a time to take a deep breath, and I have to dust myself off. And I sometimes freak out earlier. My husband's like, we went through this last year. This is the last quarter when everyone's holding money for Christmas. People are getting worried. But the positive side of that is that all the seeds that you plant now, I promise you, these are going to be the people that are going to reach out to you in the new year. The biggest time and the biggest amount of momentum every year that I build in my team is January, February, March. April is when I feel like the most coaches get on board, the most people want to join you. So I urge you over the next few weeks to go through your tracking wherever you write stuff down, whether you're using Asana, whether you're using all of these like notebooks that I have over here, all of the people that told you no, start compiling your list. Start writing people's names down. And right now, if you're really getting to the point where you're like, you know what, I don't really have a lot of people telling me no, I haven't really put myself out there yet, I really urge you, this is a great time because a lot of people that tell you no now definitely are going to be joining you later on. So with I definitely would like to go ahead and start. So I guess I think I already hit record, and anybody that is going to jump on, I guess they can join us in. Danielle, can you do me a quick favor, and in our Boom Empire thread, can you tell everybody that the call is starting now really quick so we can get some of the last people jumping on. So, all right, so here we go. And I have my little list here, and we're going to skip over tonight. We are going to skip over recognition, but there is a couple of things that I would like to point out. The first thing is that we do have our accountability thread, and those of you have probably noticed that we have a new assistant that is rocking, and she is killing everything. And I know some of the weekly volume has been messed up, so don't worry about that. I went ahead and talked to my assistant, and we have the week leg volume, which if you really watch the video on how to recognize people for a week leg, it's pretty hard because you have to pull things to a spreadsheet and blah, blah, blah. You guys don't need to worry about that, but we have that straightened out. Another thing that I would like to remind you guys about is in the Boom Empire Fit Crew thread, there is this little accountability thing that Dedra, who is doing an amazing job, and happy birthday, Dedra, and happy Veterans Day to you. Thank you for your service, and I hope you had an amazing birthday. And hello, I love your hair. It looks great. I saw that you got it done. It looks really good. But we have this little, I know it's like really crazy to put it up here like this, but it says, how many invites did you do? How many follow-ups did you do? And what was your personal development? And you guys, just like a little robot, every day I was like, I did 10 invites. I did 15 follow-ups. How about you, Michelle, Katz, Kelly, Dedra, and Christine? And then no one says anything, and then the next day happens. And then I'm like, how many, and you guys, and I'm so in it with that one too. I'm like, 11.5 invites, 15 follow-ups. How about you, Michelle, Katz, Josh, and Steve? And nobody would ever say anything because it's one more thing that's super annoying to do, and I get that. But I urge you to do it because you can get some amazing recognition for doing it, and it really keeps you accountable. It really will keep you accountable as you are inviting and following up. Because one of the things that I found, and we have talked about this so many times, guys, is there is 4 vital things that we do in this business. And Danielle Pacey and I talked about this last week. If you are posting online and you are reading your personal development and you are working out and you are drinking your Shakeology and you're like, what's going on? Like, I don't understand why my business isn't moving forward. Sometimes we forget that the unsexy part of actually talking to people, inviting them, getting out of our comfort zone. I saw Kelly's little smirk during that part, and actually following up with them is something that we're probably gonna need to do to move our business forward. Like, seriously need to do it to move our business forward. And I watch people a lot because clearly, guys, this is all I do. And you know how we're in those posted threads where people are like, posted, 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 and then you start like posting, 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 posting. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're not in it, or if you were in it and you left, or if you want to be in it or you're completely confused, what that is everyone's posting, okay? And I get a lot of coaches that say to me, you know, you may not understand why we're doing that. And there's a couple parts of that. Number one, if you are posting on your Facebook wall, you need to post with a purpose, okay? You need to have your fitness journey, and I hate to say this, but it's not really, it's about me, but it's not. So I'm trying to connect with people. Then, if I'm doing that, I would need to, in turn, write the people down that are liking it. I would need to do something with it. So my point is if you were just, you know, posting and working out and drinking your Shakeology, that's great, but you might be missing, and Danielle, remember we talked about that? You might be missing something. Like, you might be missing something, and I was reading, I don't remember what I was reading. No, I was listening to, what was I listening to? I was listening to Tony Robbins, and he was talking about it's almost like with golf. And people who do a golf swing, they'll do their golf swing, and they're 1 millimeter off, I hate to say, from greatness, or getting their golf ball in the hole. There's like probably a more better way to explain that. And they're really 1 millimeter off from, and I kind of equated that to maybe even closing a deal or changing a life, as we like to say, or hitting Success Club. And it's not because you're not really like doing everything, it's like you're missing that small piece. And really what I can equate it to, and even if you look at, say, you know, Patrick Reelman, like he's in the Millionaires Club, like they get Success Club all the time, and they're you know, developing these multi-6-figure incomes. And I think that a lot of times, like, we get they're doing more of that unsexy part where we actually have to have conversations with people, and we're not just like, day 4 of this, and we posted about this, and then we posted over here, and then we ran over here. I don't know about you guys, but when I get in that mode, it takes me all day. I don't know if you can relate to that, Carrie, but if you really write out 3 long posts a day, and you are posting it everywhere, and you are making a meal, and you are working out, and you are doing that, sometimes that's really cool. And I'm not saying not to do it, but don't forget that other part where we need to do something with it. You see my point? Doing something with it would be writing down everybody that saw your Instagram stories and Facebook stories that Carrie Stillman talked about last week. Writing down, tracking, inviting, following up, doing those things that can seem super daunting and super, you know, just like, ugh. And you guys, sometimes I'll sit here for an hour, like after we get off this call, I'm going to sit here for an hour and follow up with people. Sometimes it hurts. And I'd love to say, I'm so excited because I hope I change your life tonight. You know, like that would be great. But the reality is sometimes it physically hurts. okay? But I know that that's the one thing that if I just laid out my workout clothes for tomorrow and cut up a bunch of fruit and then I put it in containers and I was like, I'm ready, you know, that's great and I'm ready, but I might have missed I haven't really invited, followed up, or talked to anybody in the past couple days. So I'm not saying don't do those other fun, super sassy things, but don't forget about the unsexy, man, you know what? Marie put me in this Coach Basics thing, like, I don't know, for 18 months, and I never did any of it. Like, and then I'm like asking her, like, what do I change my Shakeology? Like, what does it mean to be an emerald? How come I have 7 coaches on my right leg and none on my left? Oh yeah, that was in day 4. Like the little unsexy things that we don't want to do, we might want to like jump in and get those going. So I know I just kind of went off on a tangent on that, but that's one of those, like, don't forget about those unsexy things. So that was the first thing. Commenting on those accountability things are really important. The next thing is that one of the things to kind of keep, and this is kind of a random night of little tidbits, but I have little notes I want to go over. Another suggestion that I would have for you guys is to definitely get involved in the challenge groups. Like, it's great to post that we did a workout, and it's great to post that, but in order to get motivation, we've got to give motivation. Does that make sense? Like, you know, I'm like, I went to the gym, and then I got out of it, and I didn't go back in till like 4 days later. Like, it's cool I went to the gym, but all the people that are struggling, sometimes it's good to comment on their stuff, and it's good to like their stuff. And I may not know Heather Swindell's best friend, Ginger, that bought a challenge pack 3 months ago, but she posted a picture of herself, but we're all on the same team. So it's really good to comment and keep the momentum going, because it gets kind of like, you know, kind of dead in there sometimes. And if you're struggling, make sure you say that you're struggling. You don't just have to show up on the good days. Like, you don't have to separate your groceries. Did you see the one where I posted in there earlier? It was like what I really bought. Like, you don't have to put all, have you guys ever done that? Raise your hand. Like, you go to post all your groceries you bought and you put like all the stuff that shouldn't be in the picture over to the other side. I've done that before. Like, just be real. And because if you guys are eating kale all the time and drinking your shakes, like, that's cool, but I know I'm not. I mean, sometimes, but I mean, I have tacos and, you know, and just kind of try to be more real, because I think that, you know, there's 100 people in there and 15 of us are posting. There's probably somebody out there that, if we're struggling, that needs that, you know, I'm struggling today and I didn't work out. So definitely be real in those challenge groups. Based off of challenge groups, I know that I'm trying to minimize the amount of Facebook groups. So there is, right now, we have 3 challenge groups. If you want to write this down and you're getting lost and everything, because sometimes I change the names without telling you guys. And I know I do that because we're rocking and rolling and we're moving and it can be super frustrating. I saw Heather smile on that because she's like, wait, yeah, I was like, what's going on? So we have, for my group, and then I'll move on to a training for everybody here, but just a quick note. We have Run Into the New Year. Okay, we have Hey Bailey. We have Run Into the New Year. And that group is going to be running for 90 days. Okay? If you get a new challenger, we only add new challengers in on Sunday. So before you add them in the challenge group, you should, not trying to micromanage your business, but as a suggestion, I would go over meal planning with them, go over meal planning, everything in pre-week, because they miss pre-week, right? And if you just throw them in a Facebook group, they're going to be super confused. So go over that stuff with them. Then we have the graduate. Anybody that's super overwhelmed and there's way too many posts and they join the Witness Protection Agency after 10 minutes of buying a challenge pack from you, get them out of there and put them in the graduate. There's only 20 people in there. It's super calm. It's it's so calm. Like, you just put them in that one. Then we have Holiday Hustle that is starting tomorrow, which is the free group. okay? Now, Jamie now runs a variety of free groups and all of that's going on. I know a lot of you have your own challenge groups, and I urge you to start your own challenge group and start doing that. Come February, we're gonna split the challenge groups up and we're gonna break them up into about like 6 different groups and have to split them because they're way too big right now. So just get ready for that and kind of start planning. The scripts are already there, no reason to freak out, but we've got to do that. Okay, so we're going to move into the next section, talking about goal setting. Now, I feel like a lot of coaches in this business get frozen. Has anyone on this call, with a show of hands, ever been in this business and felt frozen? Meaning you have a little bit going on and then you get frozen. And then you see everyone going this way, you see everyone going that way. You don't even know where to start, so you just don't. And you become frozen. And it becomes so heavy on your back that you can't even. That's all I could say. The only way that I can describe it is you can't even. And to be honest with you, I feel like that every day. And I think that, I know that sounds like super, you're probably like, why? Like, you show up every day. And I feel that way. I really do. Because not to get into my own, you don't want to know what's going on in my head, but like, not to get into my own like personal like struggles with this business, but sometimes you just get so frozen, like you don't even know where to go, and you see this success and those boards go up and it just becomes so overwhelming, right? So one of the things that I have talked to my personally sponsored coaches about, do you guys hear a lot of background noise? Do you hear like, sorry if you do, make sure you guys are muted. You probably hear my kids in the background. They're opening all her birthday presents. Landon, you can talk, baby, but can you just not yell? When like my son wants to say something, he's like, there's a bar on TV. Like when they're babies, they do a shout talk. When the kids are really little, they shout talk. And you just become so frozen. And I think that if you can put blinders on, guys, and I have to do this, because sometimes I'll even do that. Like I'll remove my blinder a little bit, and I'm like, how's she outworking me? There's no way, you know? And I'm like, ooh, don't even look. And I have to put my blinder back up, and I get so overwhelmed sometimes that like literally my blood pressure could like go up, like my face gets hot. And so what I do is when I become frozen, I realize that I have to set goals. And I have to know what I need to do for me to move my business forward. Because when you get frozen, it's like you just don't know where to start. And I remember one of the little, it's like a stupid quote and it's so simple. When I used to get super overwhelmed, I would talk to my aunt that is in network marketing, but she's not a Beachbody coach. She actually does like MetaFast or something. I don't even know what it is. Like you add water to the food and it plumps up. She's killing it. I don't even know what she's doing. And she was like, you just have to start. And as simple as that sounds, it's like you just have to start. And if I sit here and I think about if I act with my emotions, I'm not going to do it. Like, do I feel like working out? No. Do I feel like doing follow-ups tonight? No. And I have to almost retrain my mind, set goals, and then, like, I don't feel like doing it. And guys, I really don't. Like, you might think I just, like, feel like doing all this stuff. Like, sometimes I don't. And I'm super frozen and I get super overwhelmed. And then I tell myself, like, what is my goal for today? Because if I think about everything, I become crippled and I collapse. And I don't know if you guys have felt like that, but I become crippled and I feel collapsed. And I know Carrie and I've talked about that a little bit before. So like, what do you need to do? What do you need to do in the next 7 days? What do you want to do in the next 14 days? And what do you want to do in the next 30 days to 90 days? So I feel like Beachbody really breaks things down really simply with the Success Club. You know, that could be a goal for the next 30 days. Now if Success Club is super overwhelming to you, let's take a step back from Success Club. Let's look at maybe we want to help one person this month. You know, we want to help one person this month, right? Now, wouldn't that feel great to just, you know, help one person this month? You know, maybe Success Club's too overwhelming and it cripples you and you become frozen. try to help maybe one person this month. Maybe you really, really want to get to Emerald, okay? Emerald means that you have a personally sponsored coach on your right and a personally sponsored coach on your left. What does that look like? What is it going to take for you to get there? So you need to break that down. What is it going to take for you to do? Maybe it's going to take for you to look at that small piece that you're missing. You're working out, you're drinking your Shakeology, you're posting 95%. Maybe that 5% is really what you might need to up to, right? Maybe you might need to, you're leaving out that unsexy, that inviting, that following up, that scary, hairy, get out of my comfort zone part. So maybe for December, you might want to do more of that. So sometimes you really have to take a step back and say, where's my business now? Where isn't my business? What is going on? And I promise you guys, your business will take peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. I go through dry spells, guys, where I won't sign up any coaches for like a month, 2 months, 3 months, last year. And then all of a sudden the compound effect will kick in, and then a bunch of coaches will jump in again. And then I'll get in another dry spell. But why do I not turn my back on the business and say, you know what, this isn't working. This isn't working. This isn't working for me. Everyone's judging me. Nobody wants to buy challenge packs. Everyone's waiting till Christmas is over. Everybody wants to do this. Nobody wants to do this. All my, this and that. One of the main things that I can tell you is that keeps me afloat is that one other component that a lot of people let slide, and that is reading personal development. Personal development, I did not read for the first year that I was a Beachbody coach. I didn't read it. You know why? Because I don't have time to read. I don't like to read. I'm not like her. I'm busy. I can't afford a book. All of that stuff that you guys, not you guys specifically, but coaches and people flood my inbox with, and I don't this and that, and all those things that we hear and that. And I think that one of the things that I had to realize is honestly in my mind right now, what does my mind tell me? Marie, you're too busy to read. You don't have time to read. You have kids. You have this, you have that, you have that. I still hear that. As crazy as that sounds, I still think that, but I don't act off of the emotion. I act off of the concrete, brutal facts of what it's going to take for me to understand network marketing, not to quit and not to turn my back, right? Because sometimes, guys, I wake up and I'm like, what am I doing? Oh God, somebody return a challenge pack. My life's over. Ugh. That's how it feels. And I know that sounds as crazy as it does, but I go through all of that stuff. But why have I not quit? Well, I haven't quit, first of all, because I'm not a quitter. And I know the magic of this business, but that's a whole nother topic. And it's because I read personal development. And when you read the books like The Compound Effect, you know that without a shadow of a doubt that planting seeds over time, it's going to compound. Everybody that got, I've sold challenge packs to this month were people I invited months ago. You're going to have to talk to them. You're going to have to follow up. You're going to have to keep going, reevaluate, reassess, refine, redefine what you're saying and what you're doing, and keep growing. And I learned that from personal development. I learned that, and I'm going to play a chapter in this book in a second for you. It's only 2 minutes, so don't freak out or jump off the phone call. But and it talks about all of the things that I'm going through. Those things are normal. You're supposed to feel like that. You're supposed to be upset. But then you know what? All of a sudden you get a win. And when you get a win, it feels so good. Like Megan Gutenberg last month. I remember when she was like, she kept going. She's like, don't worry, I didn't quit yet. And Randy, I'm like, I know you didn't quit. And then all of a sudden they're like showing up, they're on the leaderboard and they're changing lives and the compound effect is kicking in. And if you're reading network marketing books and you're understanding those things and you're reading personal development, you're going to know that that's part of it. That heavy heart is part of it. So definitely set your goals. What are your guys' goals? 7 days, 30 days, 90 days. My goal in January is to get my husband a diamond. I know I'm going to do that. I'm going to rank advance him in January. And one of my coaches on my right side, by the glory of God, it's going to hit diamond on the other side, you know, and that's the goal, you know, that, I mean, I have these 30, 60, 90-day goals in the beginning of the year, because right now I actually got a phone call with corporate yesterday when we were at one of my daughter's birthday dinners. I went out and I was on the phone with her. I was like, sorry guys. And I talked to this lady for like 10 minutes. And she was like, she's like, you're going to end the year with 145 elite points. So you need 135 to be elite. She's like, all you would need was one more rank advancement. I think one of my coaches needs like 5 coaches and you're going to be elite. Like, come on, you know, you can do it. Like, you can do it. But I know for me, and I know for my family and where I am emotionally and mentally and where I'm in my business, like, it's just not on my goal list right now. And I'm okay with that, you know, and I'm okay with that. And I say that and it gives me tears and it's like super weird, but I'm okay with that. So I'm real. So when you set your goals, you don't do something that is, I don't know why that made me emotional. Like, I just said that out loud. It was like in my head, and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing it right now. But you have to make sure that when you set your goal, that it's not just a goal. You're okay with it emotionally, mentally, you're ready to tackle it, and you have a plan of action that is going to make you, that is okay for you mentally, physically, and emotionally. But you better have a goal, and you better have a plan, and you better get that frozen ice cube. Go put yourself in front of the heater, girlfriend, because it's time to thaw out. So if you're feeling frozen, unfreeze, right? Okay, so all right, so the next thing, and we only have about 10 more minutes. I'm like dragging because I'm talking super fast. You're probably like, what's going on? All right, so the next thing we're going to move into is about talking about the systems in the goal setting. So we just talked about that. The cool thing is, guys, is that everything that we're doing on this team right now, you don't have to recreate the wheel at all, okay? So the systems do work. Now, the reality of that is what we were doing last year, I don't feel is as effective. So as social media evolves, as people evolve, and as society evolves, I feel like it's important to evolve. Meaning, social media, as far as the Instagram stories and all of those things, and Facebook stories are key. I'm not going to do a whole training for you on that right now, but I would definitely write it down on a piece of paper, Google it, check out Instagram stories, Facebook stories, and how to do those, because I feel like a lot of people are building businesses on those. And I think that Carrie or somebody mentioned at one time, did you hear about that coach that there's a lot of coaches that are using those to move their business forward? It's another way of inviting that I definitely would check out. As far as the systems being in place, so definitely check those out is the first part. The second part is that all of these things that we're doing, you guys coming in now to our team, if you're coming into Fit Empowerment's team, you're coming into Fit Crew, you're coming into Boom Empire coaches, you are some of our new UK coaches. You don't have to recreate any of these systems. They are already in place for you. Inviting, following up, the scripts. I don't have enough money. What do I say? We have the paragraphs written out for you. What to say next. Everything is lined up for you. A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Okay? If you are having a hard time knowing what to say during invites and how to combat objections, please send me a PM. I have some great PDFs that I would love to share with you. Christine, we talked about those on our call, the ones that I sent over to you, about how to handle objections. And if you don't mind, Christine, if you could post those in our coach group, those PDFs I sent you, Raina Odell's snippets, definitely check those out. Because if you're still in your business at this place and you're like, nobody has any money, nobody has any time, nobody is responding, you're stuck at phase 1, okay? I was trapped there for 18 months. And by the grace of God, because I over-invited, I happened to get to a Star Diamond coach, but I think it's because I invited so many people that like eventually like the compound effect kicked in, but it's not because I understood objections as well as I do now, okay? So if you're getting all of those things and then you're still trapped, then you definitely need to go into the coach group, Fit Crew, Boom Empire, and I can send these. I know Carrie already has them. She can post them in there. Raina Odell's the How to Fight Objections. Definitely check those out and start using them. But we do have these systems, but there's 3 key things that you can have all of the professional development books. You can have all of the trainings. I could build you up right now and motivate you, and you're like, I love that call. I'm going to win the day tomorrow. And then Wednesday comes and it's ghost town. Okay? So what are you going to need to be able to implement them? Number 1 is I really feel like people need a burning desire to succeed. A burning desire to succeed and do well. Now, definitely, I think that is so important. And I'm reading Building an Empire right now. It's a great book. And one of the chapters was saying that a lot of people, if you feel like you give up really easy, I want you to kind of look at things maybe from your childhood. Like if you weren't, like, did your parents make you finish out like your whole soccer season? Or did they let you quit, like if you had a bad time? Right? Or like they bought you a flu and then you tried it for a month, but then you quit because you didn't like it anymore. Or were you that kind of person that you had to finish what you no, I'm not saying like you have to finish this till the end, like you can never like jump ship, but I'm saying like what kind of mindset did you have? Like did you have a burning desire to keep learning and then you refined and then you kept going? Or did you have more of that? And I always tease my sister about this part, so Alyssa, if you hear it, I always tease her about it. Like when we would go water skiing, she would try it once, and then if she wasn't good at it, she's like, I quit. We went ice skating, she stood up, fell down, she like took off the ice skates. And she's not a quitter in like most things, but it was kind of funny because she would try to, we go to like a painting class and it wouldn't come out good. She's like, I'm never painting again. So just kind of like reassess your like kind of how your own personal self is when it comes to learning and conquering a new task. So that is a really cool part of that book. And it was saying, do you have that burning desire to succeed? Are you willing to work? Are you willing to work? And are you coachable? Are you willing to work and are you coachable? I think that those things are like really, really important. Like, are you coachable? Like, do you get off this call and then you're like, you know what? She said the Building an Empire. I'm gonna read that book and I'm actually gonna do it. I'm actually gonna say, you know what? You said Raina Odell tidbits or whatever it was for objections, and you said you were gonna post them in the coach group and you never did. Can you send those to me? Because I'm struggling with objections. Like, are you gonna Carrie Steelman's call last week about the Instagram stories, and she talked about how you link things to it. Like, did you get off the call and you did that? You know, are you doing a program? Like Jamie Nell always says, like, are you, like, she's always does a program. Have you done a program from start to finish? I never did until a year and a half ago. I'll be the first to tell you, I did every single program, every single different day, you know, and I would jump around and I would just eat the 21-day fixed meal plan. And that's what I was doing. That was it, you know? Maybe if I did do a program from start to finish and I talked about how it sucked, or maybe I talked about how it was awesome, or I had my hard days, like maybe I should give it a try. You know, do you do those things? Are you coachable? Or are you the kind of like, and sometimes I think like we get frustrated with our customers telling us like, I'm too busy or I can't afford it. Are we telling ourselves those same excuses when it comes to like running our own business and doing our own business? Like, do we not get back to ourselves kind of thing? So that kind of stuck out to me. And as much as we don't have time, and I respect that, are those our reasons, or are the reasons that we want to do this business our reasons for not doing it? I thought that was another cool quote that, like, you know, stuck out in my mind. And I would say that before, my reason was I wanted to quit teaching. But was my excuse not to do my business because I had to teach tomorrow? you know? So those are just kind of things to look at and reassess and really think about. Like, and I'm not saying you guys need to leave your full-time jobs. And I think that right now I have a lot of even my new coaches, like, well, I work. I have to do this or this and that. And it is like we do have jobs, and you don't have to dedicate your whole life to Beachbody. You don't have to work 24 hours a day. You don't have to read all of the books, but you should read the best books. So what are the best books? You don't have to read them all, but read the best ones. What are you struggling with? Look up what your struggles are. You don't have to read what I'm reading. You don't have to be the worker that works 20 hours a day, but I know that I'm the hardest worker in the room. Not that I work the longest, but I know I'm the hardest worker in the room because I have a plan. I have a goal. I have a mindset. I have workplace paranoia. Is that even a thing? Is it workplace paranoia? Productive paranoia. What is it, Carrie? Not workplace paranoia. Productive paranoia. Because I am paranoid as shit.
No,
What's it called?
Productive procrastination. Productive paranoia and productive procrastination.
Right. Because you know how paranoid I am that I quit my teaching job, withdrew from the state after teaching for 14 years with a master's, was like working on my PhD, that I walked away from that and I'm going to mess this up. Talk about scary. I post all the time, like, I quit my job and I'm cool and I got my nails done. I'm freaking scared as crap. So I show up every day. I don't work all day, but I've got a plan and I've got a goal, and then it blows up in my face and doesn't work. And then I do it again. Crazy as that sounds. And yeah, so the last thing, I saw your message, Christy, and I just came through, but I didn't read it yet. The last thing that I want to leave with you guys is this is my favorite chapter right here from this book that I want you've got to download this book right here, Building an Empire, right? And right now, if you're like, man, but Audible costs me money. It does. It does. It's $14, and it sucks when it comes out of my account, and it hurts. But it also, helps me, create a 6-figure income with, all of us, together working and doing what we're doing. So sometimes I try to think long term. I'm not saying you have to buy Audible. If you can find it for free, find it for free. But you got it. I don't have time to read, so I have to listen to Audible. But I want you to listen to this little quick chapter.
Self-doubt. Warning. There will be many, many times when you will doubt whether this business works or whether there is something wrong with you for not succeeding faster. Let's nail this down right now. The business does work. Just look at all the people in your company who are already experiencing amazing success. Again, it comes down to the you factor discussed earlier. Knowing this, you will tend to self-assess constantly when you're not succeeding fast enough. By the way, it is subjective how you define succeeding or even fast enough. You may find that you're comparing yourself to others in your company in an unhealthy way. It is okay to measure your business against someone else to see how you can improve in different areas. But do not let yourself fall into the trap of comparing yourself with others if it makes you get down on yourself. I did this for years. You do not know what head start that person may have had in the network marketing industry. You don't know if they followed the system better, how many books they read, or if they got really good at one of the skills in the business where you need attention. The reality is that you can do this business and win. It all starts with your belief. If you have it, then you can have confidence. This is critical because without confidence, you cannot have influence. And influence is what moves people. I repeat, influence is what moves people. We are in a people-moving business. We move prospects to join. We move distributors to do activity to sell and recruit. Influence can be learned by tracing it backwards. Keep working on your belief, and that will build your confidence. And as your confidence grows, the more influential you'll become. Why do people quit on their business and on their dreams? Everyone has a different IQ level. In other words, what it takes for someone to say, I quit, varies. Those who have weak whys often quit before they even begin. They sign up on a Tuesday, and by Wednesday, they've already joined the witness protection program. Who knows what they were thinking when they joined, what their motivation was, or even what values were instilled into them as children. Unfortunately, many parents don't realize the damage they do to their kids by allowing them to quit things that they start. If you, quote unquote, tried soccer, tried baseball, karate, basketball, swimming, an instrument, and you were allowed to quit because you didn't become amazing at them in the first week, no wonder why it's hard to engage and stay committed to a new business or even a relationship or marriage. Yes, people quit their network marketing business for various reasons. There are 2 rules of thumb to live by. Number 1, never quit on yourself. Number 2, try to keep people from quitting, learn from those who do, but never let it derail you when someone else does. The only person you can control is you. Others will do what they want, and if their why wasn't strong enough to keep them in the game, that's on them. What can you do to anchor your recruits into the business? Well, there's 7 things. Introduce them via welcome calls to other success stories in the business in their first 48 hours. Second, share the vision of the company several times in their first week. 3, sell them on their dream and their why again and again every few days. 4, get them more passionate about the product or service by sharing testimonials and urge them to be a product of the product themselves. 5, get them a commission check immediately, their belief check. 6, make them feel appreciated and a part of a team because people are less likely to quit on a team than they will quit on themselves. And 7, build a personal relationship with them. Just do your best to be a servant leader. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When you put the needs and desires of your downline before yourself, it will be noticed. As Zig Ziglar says, help enough other people get what they want in life, you'll get more than what you want. So what about you? The one person you can control. How can you keep yourself from the decision to give up when the going gets tough? To set your expectations properly, I want you to know that things will get tough at times. We all hit dry spells when we just can't seem to recruit anyone for weeks or more. Maybe your business is not growing as fast as others are. Maybe you have friends and family members who are taking shots at you, telling you that you're a fool for even trying to build your own business to get ahead in life. Maybe they're attacking your company or even the network marketing model. Trust me, I got this from all angles for years. Like I said earlier, their ignorance was not going to stop me from achieving my dreams. Their pictures were not on my dream board, and they certainly were not going to pay my bills and fund my dream life. So I had to develop my rhino skin. Most people who quit have baby skin, meaning they feel every little prod, every little jab or disappointment. It hurts badly because their skin is so soft. A rhino, if you've ever seen one on TV, can have a bird land on its back and even peck with its beak, and the rhino doesn't even feel it. This is because to avoid the elements and to avoid being prey for other animals, it develops very thick skin. As your belief in your business and in yourself rises, your skin will get thicker. The verbal attacks and the rejection that you will face will stop hurting so much and will someday just bounce right off. Will you enjoy the jabs and the rejection? Not really, but you'll understand why it comes and you'll expect it and you'll plow right through it. Believe me, it gets easier and easier. How can you develop your rhino skin? Attend every company event you can. Listen to leaders on conference calls. Listen to as many success stories as you can. Read personal development books, at least 10 pages every day, and read books about the network marketing industry. We'll develop some of these concepts in the ensuing chapters.
Yeah, buddy. Now that, like, I was listening to that and I was thinking, is this guy like, I don't know, a Beachbody coach or something? Or like, what's going on? No, nothing to do with it. And I absolutely love this book. And one of the hashtags that I'm going to start using, and I know like it's weird to create your own hashtag like corn dog or whatever, but when I want to do something that's going to make me uncomfortable this week, I'm going to do two uncomfortable posts. I'm going to do one tomorrow, and then I'm going to Vegas, so it's going to be kind of hard to do something uncomfortable. But I'm going to say hashtag rhino skin. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like anytime you like want to put something out there, because you got to have rhino skin, guys. And you're going to, and this is so cool because like there's books on this stuff, guys, that we like feel. And that like what's in our minds, like people write books on it and it's okay. And those are real things. And this book is so cool. I urge you to get it and I urge you to read it, because when I was listening to it, I was like, yeah, that's how I'm feeling every day. And it was awesome. So, all right. So I'm not going to discuss too much about that. So whatever your takeaway was, that, personal with you. So hopefully you took some good notes on that. All right. So any questions, takeaways, something you would like to add to tonight's call? I know, guys, when I have a PowerPoint and I'm not jumping around, it's straight line thinking. I may have not been thinking in a straight line tonight and threw out a bunch of information, but I hope that it helped you guys in some way, inspired you in some way. And if it didn't, look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm not going to give up on myself. Just stay true to your own journey and go for it, just go for it. Have that hashtag rhino skin and just go for it. You can do it. All right. Is there any questions in the chat?
I have a question.
Not 30 minutes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. So I feel that I shouldn't have to keep adding people right now because I have 4,000 friends. I think I need to reach in there and figure out the people that I actually have not talking to and try to bring them to the surface as a new person. Because I feel like they're being buried. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Definitely. And I think that's a good point. And I think that, you self-assessing, what's working, for you, for my business, for example, when I get a new friend, I kind of, thanks for the, sending you positive vibes, and I kind of chart them. I think that when you came out of the gate, super fast, you hadn't even gotten through those trainings yet, and you friended and you had such a huge following from the start, they did get kind of buried. So what I would suggest, if you are using Teamsy, kind of unbury them that way, or just go old school on it, like we talked when I first trained you, and go into friends and hit the letter A, and everybody with the letter A is going to come up, and you're going to do 10 people on Monday, unbury them. You say do 10 on Tuesday, but technically you'd get overwhelmed because you'd have to really then talk to them, and then you're going to bury yourself. So maybe you could talk to the A's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, unbury them, see what their goals are, see what their needs are, or just connect with them on a personal level, because you may have such a huge following that you may not have even just built those friendships yet, and the way you can find out if they are watching you is through those Instagram stories and Facebook stories, because that is where I weed out tons of coaches and people that I've already talked to. The creepers and the hiders, the people peeking from around the curtain that literally won't talk to you, but if you're leave your favorite emoji below, they'll be the first ones to do it. They're watching you and you're following you, and that's where they're going to peek from behind the curtain. So I think that's a great way to assess. Work
Can
with what
I
you
add
already have.
that, Marie?
Yeah.
Dedra, I've kind of been in the same position before too, where even all the people that I have in my Teamsy, I've had Teamsy for over a year now, and I still haven't made it through the alphabet. I think I'm on, I don't know, G's or something crazy. I still feel like I'm at the beginning of the alphabet, and it's not that I'm not reaching out to new people, but I never made it all the way through all my Facebook contacts because I was adding so many people in there that in order to have conversations with the new people that I was adding on, I wasn't able to get to the existing ones. So what I've been doing lately is trying to go through and access that prospect list. I'm not adding so many to my Facebook. I'm more going through and trying to comment on those people's pages, interact with them, see who they are, identify if they're even part of my tribe, and then get them off of my Facebook if they're not. So,
yes. I like that, Carrie. Get them off of there. Yeah, because I'm doing that too.
I think that's a really good point. I mean, you can have loads and loads and loads and loads of people, but if
no one cares,
they're not active followers, if they're not people who actually see your content, then they might as well just be in the realm of all the other people on Facebook who aren't following you, right? So Those people you already have some connection with. So I find that it's going to be a lot easier to translate into a friendship and build a relationship with people who are already your friend for some reason. And then you have at least a conversation starting point. Or there would be some reason for you to be commenting on their stuff, right? So.
Yeah. And I use my birthday blast as to see how many people were like sending me happy birthdays. And so that was like almost 700. So I'm like, okay, so now I need to weed through and figure out from that.
I would start with them.
Yeah.
I would start with those 700 or whatever. And then you'll probably build all sorts of new relationships just from looking at that list and try to keep it small.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely. And then you're going to get to a point where, like, I'm going through my TeamZ and I've like literally cycled through them to where people hadn't respond. And then I was like, hey girl, looks like you've been following me for a while. I'm not sure if you got my messages, but I'm like, hey girl, they gotta go. You know, like if I'm getting that, so I'm to the point where I'm unfriending, and I've seen some coaches where they'll even wipe out their whole Facebook. I don't know why, not your whole one, but most of it, and just kind of start rebuilding. I think at that point it's good to make a like page, but people who aren't actively really following you, get rid of them, because you only get 5,000 friends, Dedra. And once you start weeding those out, in the new year, it's a good time for you to make a move, possibly start sharing things to your like page, which we can talk about more. And then I know I'm going to be doing some trainings on that coming up here. I know I have to do it. It's like a super scary thing for me, but I gotta go to a like page. I gotta do it. All right. So does anyone else have a question for tonight? All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have a great night. Remember that there is some other opportunities for some great training. Tomorrow we have the National Wake Up Call, which is Beachbody's weekly training. Monday, I'm not going to throw the time out there right now because I'm not that good, but definitely check the coach group. I put it in there. We also have Coffee Talk for our UK people and our moms with small children that can't get on this call tonight. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. I don't think you had that on your list, Carrie. 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesdays is my Coffee Talk, where I also do a training for coaches during the day. And then, Carrie, when is your Fit Crew call? Is that on Mondays?
Yeah, it's going to be on Monday at 7 Central Time, so 8 Eastern Standard Time on Mondays. And
yeah, and then we also have the Team Boom, who is our upline big call, which is also, I believe, on Tuesday. So there's so many opportunities for you guys, and definitely go for it. Goal set, just to recap, goal set, hairy scary goals, set those goals, get that rhino skin, don't give up on yourself, and just keep moving forward. And any questions you have, please reach out to your upline, post them in their coach group, or send me a PM, or check the FAQ, and I definitely would love to help you with those. So hope you guys are having a good night, and November to remember. Megan Gutenberg and I are whipping all your guys' butts right now, so you better get going. See you later. Bye, guys. See you later. Have a good night.